Damn these Biloxi blues, it happens every night. And I ain't ever met a riverboat dealer that could ever be a friend of mine.
I have not.
Summer heat never treats me kind, it leaves trouble on my mind. So I'm bidding farewell, putting in my notice, and I'll see you at another time. This highway does not know my name, and I don't care.
No, I don't care.
Heading my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare.
Right to the hook right here.
Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.
Low budget live, not so live from the LBL Bar and Grill. Welcome, you bunch of low lifers, friends and neighbors, to Low Budget Live, Not So Live for September the 13th. And if you just caught that, low lifer. Call me a low lifer. That's right. That's what the listeners of this program refer to themselves as. So whether you're here because you don't like it, but you got to listen to get yourself stirred up to make a hate-filled post about the craziness that came out of my mouth, or you're here because you're a loyal low-lifer, an OG low-lifer, a low-lifer for life. Welcome. You're all welcome. You're all welcome right here. September the 13th. 2 days after the 20-year anniversary for September 11th, man. I made a post over the weekend about that. The Triple Threat and I got to get out on the water on September 11th for a little tournament action. We fished the tournament trail, the tournament club that Hudson and I have been fishing, and Hudson did not participate this past Saturday, so Triple Threat had to fill in, and now she's a quadruple threat because she got her a top 10. She wanted me to refer to her as team partner all day, tournament partner. She called her a couple, and she was very excited, and we won a little bit of cash and had a good time, but beautiful sunrise, and this was kind of the post I made. If you don't follow me on Instagram, Facebook, but it was just like a morning of reflection for she and I. We had been watching documentaries all week and some different things, and of course, none of us, you don't forget where you were at if you were old enough to remember that day and to remember where you were when you heard what was actually going on or when you saw what was going on. I actually walked into my apartment in Florence, Alabama. I was at the University of North Alabama. I was a freshman, and I had a neighbor there. She was sitting on the front porch of our apartment, and she was rocking and smoking a cigarette back and forth. I'll never forget it. She's rocking. And she said, have you heard? And I'd been to class that morning, and it got cut short. And she said, have you heard what's going on? You got to turn on the TV. A plane has hit the World Trade Center. And I walked in my apartment, and my roommates had it on. And as I walked in, the second plane hit. And I'll never forget that feeling. I'll never forget that fear. You know, living in the Tennessee Valley on the Tennessee River, we have a lot of, obviously the dams, and you have the nuclear plants and things, and my phone started ringing. It was my mom. You got to come home. This could be, it was just so many unknowns, and I'll never forget it, and as long as I live. And something I said in my post, and I said it here a couple of weeks ago, but I would like to say again, is what you never forget the horror of that day. You never forget how pissed we were at those who did it. And we didn't even know that day who did it. You were just ready to do whatever we had to do as a nation to move on and to bring folks to justice that could do such a horrible thing. But we were together as a nation. We were together. And we were sad and we were mad, But it was the closest as a nation, in my opinion, we've ever been. And now you turn on the news or you get on social media and people, thousands of people are sick. Thousands of people are hurting. And all people want to do is argue about politics, or all people want to do is argue about what you believe in or what color you are. Or I'm better than you because I think this. You're vaccinated, so you're a piece of garbage. You're unvaccinated, so you're a piece of garbage. Just over and over and over. Every day, the negativity, man. And I just hope that everybody that put a post up, myself included, where we say, will never forget. I hope that as a nation, we never forget that we got through that together as one nation under God. And I hope we can get back there, because we're not there right now. We're not. So thoughts and prayers to those families from 9/11, those first responders, those heroes that took over that plane in Virginia, the people that lost their lives in the World Trade Center. It's terrible, man. But for me, there's no difference in that and the difference in people that are losing their lives today to COVID, people that lose their lives every day to cancer. It's tragic. It's tragic. There's no one life that's greater than another. And it all has a domino effect on whoever's family ultimately passes away. All these things, man. So let's be more empathetic. Let's be more, let's just, let's be together. That's what I say. Appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in, man. I know I got something else to talk about before we get to fishing stuff, and I want to before I do that, and it's pretty heavy. So if you don't want to hear something heavy, you might want to tune out. But it does have to do with fishing, and it's something that I recorded the last episode a little early before I got this news, and we're going to talk about this. First, I want to say thank you to these sponsors that make this possible. I love getting to do Low Budget Live. I do. It is something that I started in my garage. I did it weekly. I didn't put it on YouTube in the beginning until I was encouraged to do so. And, now here we are, however many episodes later, and lots of low lifers, and I appreciate each and every one of you. But it all starts with companies like Startron, Starbright, bringing you Low Budget Live for going on 4 years now. Crazy to even think about. But Startron, drop a little Startron in your tank. It kicks ethanol in the teeth, so you don't have to worry about it. Chainsaw, your weed eater, your lawnmower, your outboard engine. Nothing ruins a great day on the water like an outboard engine that will not run. So you're going to want to put that Startron in there before you store it. Some of y'all in some of these parts of the country where that water gets a little harder than it does down in my part of the world, you're switching over to hunting season. Before you store it, Startron in the tank, man, you'll be set on the other side. Once winter is gone, you'll be all set. Get you a bottle of Startron right there. We appreciate Startron kicking ethanol in the teeth and bringing you Low Budget Live and the Traveling Circus. The folks at Sims Fishing Products, making quality outdoor gear, the sun shirts, the absolute amazing rain suits. They got so many different varieties of rain suits. I personally wear that Pro Dry. It's lightweight, keeps you absolutely bone dry. It is amazing. But the most amazing part of Sims is they just love the outdoors. They love conservation. They love fishing. And they say, you get one life. Fish it well. Could not agree more. Pro Guide Batteries. Pro Guide Batteries, a new sponsor this year for Low Budget Live and Traveling Circus. Been running the Pro Guide 31 AGMs most of the year in the Express for a cranking battery and a trolling motor battery. But now I've switched her on up there to those Pro Guide lithiums that they released around ICAST, and they're amazing. Super impressed. I've never ran lithium batteries before, and I have to say they've blown my expectations out the water. If you would like to try some, or that 31 AGM that I swear by, Use code LBL10 at checkout at ProGuideBatteries.com to get yours today. Been a lot of low-lifers using that code too. It's what I always hear. So thank y'all for that. And last but not least, hang the banner, baby. Express Boats, Hot Springs, Arkansas, the official boat of Low Budget Live and the Travel and Circus, that Express X21 Pro with a 250 Yamaha show and the C-deck floor. Can't say enough good things about it. Y'all hear me just all the time on here, giving it heck, talking about how much I love it. But put it through the test, Triple Threat and I. Last weekend, the reason I recorded early, we were down in Apalachicola, Florida. I took it saltwater fishing. I actually ran out into the Gulf of Mexico in the Express. Got a video coming on that, but totally blown away by the performance. I was in some big crap down there. I had a wild trip overall in the Express. I hit a crab pot, ran up on a crab pot that was unmarked, and it actually had the Triple Threat in the boat with me, Marissa D, and it pulled out my drain plug. Boat starts filling up with water, and thank God the pumps were working, but that boat never, man, it never faltered at all. And we were about 5 miles from the ramp when this happened. I had to run across like 3 footers, no big deal. But we had to idle so far, we were in like 8 inches of water and digging up mud. Anyways, took a while to get it up on pad. And of course, when your plug's out, if you can get it up on pad, the better off you are, the quicker you can get it up and get back to the ramp. I wouldn't want to make a 20-mile run, but if I'm 5 miles away, send it. So got it lucky, got back, but yeah, was super impressed by the boat. Still, the performance is amazing, and had a good time in it down there. Express Boats, building excitement since 1966. All right, this is not going to be easy, guys, for me to talk about. I'm gonna be honest, and it's something I've harped on a lot. I'm passionate about people. I am. I think I know I opened the show talking about empathy, and I know I've shared with you guys multiple times my thoughts on COVID and where I'm at personally with it. And I'm vaccinated. My wife's vaccinated. My daughter's vaccinated. We're currently back and forth on our younger children getting vaccinated and working towards a decision on that. Ultimately, I think we will, just based on some things we've seen. And I'm not here to tell you what to do either way or to ask you what you're doing. It's all personal choice at this point to me, and you got to make the best decision for yourself and your family. I've had a good friend on the vent for a very long time down at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, UAB, Justin Moon. Justin went on the vent the week I was at ICAST. It was a long run. He's 35 years old. He played football at the University of Alabama. Super healthy. Doesn't fit the COVID anything that you hear about. And I had several phone calls during the process of him being there that he was not going to make it through the day. The doctors were telling his family this, and he's a miracle. Moon the miracle is what we've been calling him. But after a month and a half, I am happy to report that a couple days ago he got to get off the vent. They're having to retrain him how to walk. He's been sedated for over a month. He's got a long ways to go. But that being said, he's off the vent. He's breathing on his own again, and I don't even know what to say. And that's when all of this really hit home for me the hardest. We've lost several people in my hometown, but Justin is a very good friend of mine, and it really hit close to home. And now it last week, actually September 1st, so several days ago now, it hit even closer to home. And if you're a fisherman and you follow along with anything in the fishing world at all, any of the NPFL stuff, I'm sure you've seen this already. I had recorded my show early, and I didn't get to talk about this. I actually got this phone call after I'd recorded, and I was actually on my way out of town with Marissa, and Brad Fuller at the NPFL called me with this news, and that was that Donnie O'Neill, one of our anglers from Texas, had died from COVID. And Donnie was sick, okay? He was sick at Winnebago. He competed in the event at Winnebago. And he had a DQ on day 2 because he ran a no-wake zone. Otherwise, he would have finished way up there. And Donnie, he was keeping to himself. He didn't come to the meeting. But you could tell he didn't feel good. You could tell he was sick. And he left the final weigh-in, drove himself to the hospital in Wisconsin, and he never made it out. Never made it out. And it's mind-blowing, man. It's mind-blowing. He never made it home from a fishing tournament. And Donnie, I didn't know Donnie until this year at all. We covered Donnie at Wright Patton. He had a great tournament down there. He's a Texas angler. A lot of folks in the state of Texas know Donnie. Family man, I know that. Talked about his mother. He fished tournaments with his mother a lot. It was a really cool story. He told him live. But just absolute, full of joy all the time. Always made you feel better. Anytime I was around him, anytime I got to interview him, to cover him, just a happy man that was obsessed with bass fishing. And he was finally getting to live his dream. And the NPFL gave him that opportunity. He's fished Toyotas, he's fished Texas Team Trail, he's fished Bass Champs, he's fished all these things. And his thing was, he was father, and he wanted to raise his kids, so he didn't chase the pro fishing thing. And now his kids are raised, and he was a grandfather. And so this year was his year, and he was fighting to make our championship. So much so that he was sick, and he didn't go get tested for COVID. He didn't. I don't care to say that. I feel like he did not think that's what was wrong with him, and then it turned out, it had progressed, and he had double pneumonia, and it took his life. And that has hit me. It's hit all of us at the National Professional Fishing League very, very hard. And unfortunately, Donnie's travel partner from that event, and I got permission to, I think this is public knowledge on a lot of social media sites and things now, especially people asking for prayers about this. But Donnie's travel partner, Skeeter Fowler, also did not make it home from that event. He was driving home. He left the event early, competed part of the first day, and then went home. He felt so bad, and he got to Arkansas. Of course, Skeeter lives in Texas. Many of y'all in Texas know Skeeter. He was on his way back to Texas, and he called his wife, and it's like, I can't, I'm so sick, I can't do this. And she came and got him, and she took him to the hospital in Memphis, and he's been there ever since. Skeeter is fighting for his life. He's on the vent. And I try to get updates every day that are sent to me from our MPFL family. But Skeeter needs all your thoughts and prayers in the fishing world out there, all you low-lifers as well. So it is definitely, it's been heavy. It's been a heavy few days around here, and I can't imagine what the O'Neill family is going through. I want to just let them know on Low Budget Live what a joy it was to cover Donnie when I got to, and I'll never forget, getting to some of the conversations I had with him, and he was a bright spot in our organization, and he will definitely leave a large void in our tournament field. So rest in peace, Donnie O'Neill, and thoughts and prayers to your family, and thoughts and prayers to Skeeter Fowler and his family as he fights. But the biggest thing, guys, is it does hit home because he's a fisherman. It does. But it also hits home because he's a dad, he's a son, he's an uncle, he's a brother, he's a grandfather. All that before a fisherman, okay? And, they had to go get his boat and truck from Wisconsin. He died alone. And that's the unfortunate situation with this COVID deal is that's more times the case than not, is you die by yourself. And that's terrifying to me, man. It's terrifying. So I don't know. Not to be Debbie Downer on this week's podcast. We got a great guest, lots of things to talk about. But I I wanted to say that. Felt like I need to say it. And, something's definitely been on my mind ever since the phone call came in. Text our guest real fast. But yeah, I think this is real life. And it is, a lot of you say this is a welcome distraction from what's going on. And that's what it is for me most of the time. Week in and week out is a welcome distraction from reality, because I think all of us, whether it's your job, whether it's, whatever it is, reality can be hard, right? So just want to say that. We'll talk about all that. And I appreciate y'all listening for sure. All right, moving on. The Bassmaster Open just wrapped up down there, from where I'm at, way up there, St. Lawrence River, and imagine this, a Johnston one. This time Corey, congrats to Corey Johnston, 78 pounds for 3 days of smallmouth. I used to think I lived on the greatest smallmouth fishery in the world, Pickwick, like I grew up, like we got the biggest and the baddest and no. We've seen a lot of 26 and 27 and 28 pound stringers over the years of brown ones, and we still do from time to time, but it was incredible how many of those 25 plus pound stringers these guys weighed in out there, ridiculous conditions, just insanity up there on the St. Lawrence River. But Corey Johnston getting it done. It was on FS1. I didn't get to watch. I was fishing a tournament. I couldn't watch. I'm going to watch FS1. I had to listen to the Tennessee Vols on the radio get beat through Brad Knight's radio station. I had to listen to that while I was fishing. I didn't have time to watch the Bassmaster Open coverage and Ronnie Moore. Sorry, Ronald. But it was super cool. They were on FS1. I think that's awesome for the final day of the Opens getting covered there on FS1. But Corey gets him a Bassmaster win. Those guys never fished the Opens to qualify for the elites. Of course, they have shown, and they showed themselves on FLW time and time again. They were very successful anglers, but they didn't actually qualify, through the Opens. So they didn't fish the Opens very much, and they cherry-picked this. Of course, Chris made the top 10 as well. There are several Canadians in there. But damn, man, just huge stringers up there. I don't know. Like Andrew Upshaw had an almost 7 pound smallmouth. I can't wrap my head around it. It's just those fisheries are phenomenal. But to me, overshadowing that story, that the Johnstons are amazing on the St. Lawrence River, and nobody will argue that, obviously, till now to the end of the time, most likely. But Mike Iaconelli finished in the top 3 in the overall point standing. So this is the final Bassmaster Open in the Northern Division, and the top 3 are going to go on to get invited to the Elite Series. And Iaconelli finished second in the division, so goes out, requalifies for the Elite Series. He's made some posts saying, goal accomplished, mission accomplished, blah, blah, blah. That's Ike. We all know he likes to bait us up into thinking we know what he's going to do, and he doesn't even know what he's going to do most of the time. But he's got options. And I was talking to the Triple Threat this morning about it. I said, it's so crazy because I know these guys that fight, and I've talked about them several times, through that Opens purgatory. It's so damn hard to qualify for the Bassmaster Elite Series. And Jason Christie last year made it look like it was easy. Greg Hackney was like, I'm going to go back one division. And I don't need your stinking, I don't need your stinking Legends exemptions or whatever. Like, just win in, right? Just absolutely just does it. And same for Iaconelli. It's those guys are, if you ever want, and this goes without saying, obviously they're on another plane, but it's scary to me how good those guys are overall. Like it's crazy. But, will Ike come back? Will Bass offer him a Legends exemption? I don't think they will. But technically on paper, get at me, Bruce Aiken. I'm for hire for CEO. I make so many great decisions. They could offer him that, and then they could pull another guy up from the opens. I don't know. But I do know in the requalifications that I think they're going to have to dish out some Legends exemptions there if Fritz, Clun, if they want to come back. I know they were on the outside looking in, and Jay Yellis, I believe, as well. So they might not want to do that, but that's another scenario, right? Could get you had JT Tompkins, son of Timmy Tompkins. Shout out Timmy. Used to fish FLW with Timmy on the co-angler side and the pro side. He's a great angler. But his son, who won a Toyota earlier this year, finished fourth. He's the first guy out, so he would actually qualify for the Elite Series. Dude in his 20s out there getting it done. Be cool to see that. I don't know how they play that. I don't know if they will play it that way. They don't have to, right? But just saying they could. But Ike goes and gets it done the hard way. Also, Jonathan Kelly winning the points in that division, and Alex Redwine finishing third and getting that show thing invite. So they're doing that Opens Angler of the Year thing, combination all of them. It's a gauntlet, 9 tournaments. There's 3 left overall, 1 more in the Southern Division at Lake Norman. Then you got 2 in that division I'm fishing over there. That Central Division, we got Smith Lake coming up. It's going to be a grind, most likely. But 3 more events to go on 3 tough fisheries. And Jacob Prosnick, Jay Price, sitting on top of that. He was doing very well in the Northern Points, but had a rough one at the St. Lawrence, so it kind of swung the door open. He still has a really big lead in the overall. Tommy Williams in second, and little buddy Sammy George in third place in that overall division. I got to thinking about that. I was looking at the list. That so many tournaments to fish against so many people. I almost wish Bass... Again, here we go. Bassmaster, if you're listening, another great idea that I have. I'd like to see them that overall. I feel like that overall, those guys that qualify overall, I feel like they earn it, man, because you got to be so consistent over 9 tournaments to get in that upper echelon of that list. And I'd like to see them do 5 or 10 guys out of that, honestly. I think those would be ultimately, to me, the guys that are really ready to roll up for the most part, that consistency, because that's like fishing the Elite. You fish 9 freaking tournaments. You spend all that money, the travel. I don't know. It would be cool to see that. I don't know if they will do that, but I think for guys that are trying to qualify, that's something those guys deserve, because there are so many guys that they spend every waking minute and every dime they have preparing for an open, going to an open, and you're fishing 9 opens, man. It's a lot of travel spread out. I mean, you're talking, just look at the schedules everywhere they've been. James River, St. Lawrence River, freaking Pickwick, Smith Lake, Norman, down in Kissimmee, or Harris Chain, wherever the hell they were. I don't remember. Harris Chain, I think. They've been all over the place. So I think that I don't know. Those guys should be rewarded more than with just 3 spots. Of course, they're taking 12 total out of the 3 from the Southerns, 3 from the Centrals, 3 from the Northerns. They split it up this year. And then they're doing 3 from the overall. But I think it would be really cool to take more and then take less Elite Series guys. And I understand there are going to be guys that gripe at me and comment and say, well, man, I can only fish so much, or I can only do this. So those 3 tournaments, I get it. But I think they should take less from a single division and more from those guys, fishing the overall. Because, man, they're putting it out there. Man, you are invested if you were doing that. So I'd like to see my little buddy Sammy George make it, though. He's been after it for a long time. Of course, he's still like 17 years old. I don't know how old Tim is, but very proud to see him hanging in there. He was frustrated after the first day up at the St. Lawrence. He texted me. He had almost 22 pounds, and he was 28. He said, I had 22 pounds, man. I don't get it. Well, it's such an amazing fishery. But the opens, man, that's the gauntlet. That's the purgatory. For sure. It's brutal. It can be purgatory. You can just get trapped in those opens because there's so damn many great fishermen, so many fishermen, period. Diverse schedule. You can't have one bad day to try to finish in that top 3. Always interesting to see who survives it and who makes it out. But congratulations to those first qualifiers. Congratulations to Corey Johnston. And moving on. So this week's just been heavy, y'all. There's been so many things going on, and I talked about the Triple Threat, and I were watching all the 9/11 stuff, and I ran into an old friend at a boat ramp on Friday that I'd not seen in a very long time, and I'd heard through the grapevine that he was sick and that he's fighting lymphoma, and he pulled up behind me at a boat ramp down the Tennessee River this past week and on Friday evening, and didn't recognize him. He'd lost so much weight, and he's going through chemo. And he walks up to me, and we just immediately hugged, man. I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I said, hey, man, why don't I just park my boat? Why don't I just park my boat, and I just lock my stuff up, and I jump in the boat with you for 2 or 3 hours? That'd be okay? And he's like, absolutely. My brother's coming to meet me in a few hours, and my wife said I'm not supposed to be fishing by myself anyways. But he was feeling good after chemo treatments, and he and I went out, and we caught a pile of bass. And it was something I needed, to be honest, and something I think he needed too. And it was random, and it was amazing. But it got me thinking about them old friends. And Guy Clark had a song, Chris Stapleton covered it. Old friends, Lord, you can't buy them. And man, if there's ever been they shine like diamonds. If there's ever been a truer song, it's that one. And so today, I'm going to have another one of those old friends on here. And this is a guy that's not only an old friend of mine that I've known for a very long time. He also has $2 million in earnings between Bassmaster, FLW, and BPT. He's been after it for over 20 years. He has more top tens than you can shake a stick at. He has 6 wins total in his career. He is the picture of consistency, and he's one of the finest folks I know. And we're going to get him on the dang phone right now. He is leading his group at St. Clair. Ladies and gentlemen, the W, Wesley Strader. What's up, buddy?
What's up, LD?
Man, I said, getting the band back together is what we're doing.
Heck yeah, the band. It was a good band, man. I missed the band days.
I missed the band days, too. That's where I talk about the history of Low Budget Live on here all the time. And I've been doing this in particular for 4 years or whatever. But I'm like, y'all don't even understand. Them Low Budget Lives really started with the W and I just holding the telephone on Instagram. Sometimes we were in a hot tub and it was weird. Sometimes we were sitting side by side on the couch. Sometimes we were rigging tackle.
Sometimes we were rock climbing. Sometimes there was a grizzly bear involved. I mean, you never know. There was a barbecue. A barbecue. Well,
for those of you that are completely confused at what we're laughing about, Wesley and I roomed and traveled together for a very long time on the FLW tour. My wife is a co-angler and out of the front of the boat, and we stayed at some interesting houses.
The best yet is the rock climbing wall in the house with the grizzly bear. That might top all places.
That was at Grand Lake, right? I think it was.
No,
it was Beaver.
Beaver.
Beaver's when I won. Yeah, that's when I won. Yes. Yeah, that's right. I won there.
We owe it all to the rock climbing wall. Luke Duncan is like Spider-Man. You should have seen him on that wall. It was unbelievable.
I'm like Spider-Man if Spider-Man had like a broke arm and was really overweight. And
don't be so modest. You went up that wall and tapped out and down you came.
Somebody had a rock climbing wall on their fireplace on a house, y'all. Yeah. I've had to find a picture of that somewhere and see if I can find that back in the archives of the W and LD rock climbing competition. And there was a gigantic stuffed grizzly bear in the dang living room. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a giant grizzly bear. We did a video before the show. It was pretty. It was when Shad Skate was around too.
Old Shadwick was around back then. Well, dude, first of all, when I asked you to do this, I was talking about old friends before you came on. I'm like, man, I've known Wesley. I met you, I was 16 or 17 years old, and we've been around each other regionally down here for a long time. And then we got to be friends, and then you were there for me during some of the hardest times of my life, and always a brother. And I was just like, man, I told Marissa, I want to have Wes on. And then lo and behold, when I asked you to do it, I said, hey, you got an off day Sunday. You care to come on? Yeah, what time? Blah, blah, blah. And now you're leading the dang thing. So you're welcome. I like to say that. I feel like, you know, first of all, low budget luck for you. You're welcome.
Between you and Crystal at the blast off, I mean, I'm going to be, I ain't going to have none of this money that I'm fixing maybe potentially win.
What in the world, dude? So the coolest thing for me, and I don't want you to get into detail, when this comes out, so recording this on Sunday, this is the podcast for September 13th. While y'all are listening to Wesley talk on here, most of you, he's going to be out there doing it to it in his second round, trying to automatically qualify for the top 10. But you didn't do it like you're supposed to do it at St. Clair, right?
Oh, yeah. It's I kind of went against the grain. You know, here's the deal. In our format, I mean, which I would have had a good stringer, a 5-fish stringer. I think it was a little over 20 with largemouth. But,
which, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And, I mean, typically, I mean, come on. I mean, it's St. Clair. But the thing that helped me the first round was I knew the wind was coming. I saw it. It's going to blow 30 to 40 miles an hour. And there's no way you can fish out on St. Clair when it blows out of that direction. So I just, you know, went into my strategy, what I was going to do, and I stuck with it. I done it for 2 days. Didn't even make a cast with a smallmouth. I mean,
in practice you did. So you did that in practice. Okay.
Yeah, I did that in practice. I never even, you know, made a cast with a smallmouth. I saw the wind coming. And if people don't know it, I mean, St. Clair and, you know, Erie, they have some unbelievable largemouth fishing.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the drawback to it. In a 5-fish limit, I can't win doing that. But when every fish over 2 pound counts, that becomes a different ball game.
Totally different strategy. Yeah.
You look back at all the results, you know, of all the past, you know, lead, FLW, all those you know, normally the guys, they have some big weight, but they don't catch very many fish. They, you know, unless it's the spring. But this time of the year, it's more of a, you know, you sacrifice quantity for quality.
Mm-hmm.
So. But there's plenty of largemouth. It's just, now I can tell you this right now. I mean, I sat on one place in practice, and I caught 40 on 40 straight casts and never had one over 2 pounds.
Are they schooling?
No, they're just in an area. But I never had a scoreable bass. The biggest one I caught was 114. So, I mean, it could go the exact opposite way that it has for me the first day. It's just, it's a gamble, but if you can get things going, it's fun. You know, and I'm fishing my strengths. I'm not out there, you know, bobbing around, drifting, looking on active target, trying to find one to cast at it. You can't do that in 4-footers anyway. So
it's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Impossible, I'd say.
Well, I wouldn't say impossible. I mean, Wheeler, he could do it. I mean, he's a bionic fisherman.
Yeah, yeah. He's got that X-ray vision anyhow.
I'm still trying to figure out where they went and had that plastic surgery at for those horseshoes they had put in their butts, him and Thrift and all those guys. They won't tell me because I'm going to
Michael Neal. I'll throw Michael Neal on that list this year too.
Oh, yeah, Michael Neal. They won't tell me the plastic surgeon they went and saw, and they won't tell me what brand of horseshoe they bought. So, you know, but when I find out where it's at and who done it, I'm getting my.
They're in trouble.
Surgery.
You're getting yours inserted.
They've had it. I'm having 2 put in.
I was going to say, I think I need 3 or 4. If you find that guy, let me know. I'm going to make a comeback.
You remember the old cartoon where the mule kicks the guy in the hind end? He's got the 2 horseshoe. I'm going to be proud of it. I'm going to have tattoos of them put on my butt.
You be like Dudley. You can show up
tattooed. No, do not blunt me in with that, okay? That's so wrong on so many levels, you know.
Dude, listen. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too.
I have to put up with him now, so I got to throw his name out there. He's my partner in crime in MPFL, and you know he's Dudley. He's Dudley.
Here's the thing, dude. If you're going to pull the trigger, pull the trigger.
Pull it. Don't go all in.
Don't reload. Don't put ammo in every time you go somewhere. I mean, come on, pull the trigger. Let's do it.
If you're going to catch a ground squirrel, use a 3-liter bottle.
Exactly, with water. And nobody knows what you're talking about.
Nobody knows. Google catching ground squirrels, and you'll understand that reference.
Go to YouTube,
Yes.
Google how to catch a ground squirrel with a 2-3 liter bottles of water.
Listen,
3 liter jug of water.
At like 4:30 in the morning one time, real quick, I'll tell the story. Me and the W were eating a bowl of cereal or oatmeal or whatever, fixing to go practice wherever in the world we were. And Wesley goes,
was it Beaver Lake?
Was it Beaver? And he said, you ever seen them catch them ground squirrel? I said, first of all, what's a ground squirrel? Second of all, what are you talking about? And they're chipmunks, ground squirrels.
Yeah, chipmunks.
And they shove a 3 liter bottle in a hole with water in it, and the dang thing runs out of it up in the bottle, and they put a cap on it, and they've caught this sucker. Now, why they do it, I don't know, but it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm just like, I was astonished. I'm like, I never even thought of that.
And
the chipmunk thinks he's drowning, so he's getting out of the hole, and lo and behold, he just swims right into a jug of water.
I mean, if there's ever been any useless knowledge given out on LBL, folks, that's it right there. But I'm proud of it, and I stand by it, and I learned it from one of the best in the fishing game.
If you have a ground squirrel problem, we just solved it for you.
You're welcome.
You can send your donations to LBL Live.
You're welcome.
Wesley Strader Fishing.
Yes. Split it up. Send some to Spring City and some to Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. We appreciate all the donations.
Absolutely.
Dude, I talked to Brent Ayler last week on here, and I was looking at stats, and it really blew me away, some of his numbers. And you've been a guy, and I always use you on here as a reference to careers of consistency. But looking at your stats today, I mean, 62 top 20s, 53 top 10s, 6 wins, over a 20-year career. You've been at the Elite Series, you've been at FLW, now at BPT and FLW, both. Was that something like that consistency thing? Because I feel like I know this answer, but was that consistency thing like always is that your goal every week, or is that just in the beginning when you're starving to death trying to fish? Is it like, well, I got to make money or I don't go to the next tournament?
That's exactly where it came from. I mean, I can tell you the exact moment when I started in 98. I think it was 98, and I kept telling Larry Nixon, I said, man, I can catch keepers, but, man, I have a hard time catching big ones. And Larry Nixon looked at me right now and he said, dude, you don't worry about catching big ones. You just catch keepers. He said, the big ones will come. He said, and that's when it dawned on me for the longevity of this sport to be able to compete and go on. I mean, you have guys that, they'll win, once every 4 years or 5 years. But the guys that stay out here and they do well, it's the guys that get, they cash 10 grand every week, every tournament, 10 grand, 10 grand, 10 grand. There's something to be said. I mean, I've never won an AOY as far as FLW. I mean, I've gotten close a couple times. And I've won some, AOYs and other things. But, I've just always been that guy that's right there, close, top 10 in the points, top 20 in the points every year. And that's just, for me, as starting out in my career, that's the way I had to do it to be able to afford to go on. I mean, there's instances where I've been able to like, hey, I got a chance, I can go for the win. But for the most part, day in, day out, it's about, it would be like your job. You wouldn't go in and risk your job on a whim. You're gonna go in and get that steady paycheck and go on, and eventually you get raises and bonuses, and you work your way up, and that's kind of the way I base my whole career on. I mean, would I like to win more? Absolutely, everybody would, but yeah. I wouldn't be where I'm at if I hadn't just said, hey, you know what, I got to get paid so I can go to the next one.
Well, and I think for me, I mean, wins are obviously, yes, they're impressive. They are. Like Wheeler, 3 wins in a year this year. You know what I mean? Like guys win, guys dominate, but those wins, that's what always cracks me up when people are like, well, that tournament, even local tournament, well, that tournament only pays blah, blah, blah. Well, only one guy wins it, right? I like to know what they pay the whole field. And what I mean by that is I think consistency, that guy can roll out of bed. Now, all this has changed. Used to, if you caught 12 pounds a day, you were a hero. Now I think it's like 19 a day in 5 fish tournaments, I feel like. And then in y'all's deal, it's like you got to catch 76 pounds a day to be consistent. Like these weights are stupid anymore, even with the raised minimum and all that. Like it's so crazy how competitive it is. But to me, I've always looked up to the guys like you, like Gerald, that are so, and y'all are my friends, but it's like those consistent careers, to me, Larry Nixon's, yes, he's had a lot of wins, but that dude has made over 40 freaking championships, dude, between the Forest Wood Cup and the Classic. And you're the same way, man. You've got, how many cups did you have before it went away? 16, 17? It was a bunch.
Oh, no, I've made 21 now.
21? Does that include Red Crest?
No.
That's everything.
I've made 21 Forest Wood Cups. I've made 3. I've made every Red Crest that there is, including this next one.
So you're qualified now after day one.
Yeah,
you're
I can't fall out. Period.
Okay.
And then let's say 3 or 4 Bassmasters Classics, and only one of those was through the elites. The others were through open.
Right, which is even harder, in my opinion, to do. Yeah. It's a gauntlet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's no easy. I mean,
no.
It's not easy to do.
Well, and I was talking about Iaconelli. You know, he's in those northern points. He made it. I was just talking about what a testament it is, how hard those opens are. You've done it. You've made it. How many times did you make it? Twice? 3 times?
See, I made it 3 times, and I only.
You only went once.
I wished, hindsight 2020. I wished I would have took it years ago, just because of the marketing part of it. You know what I mean? As far as the marketing part of it, not just because of the competition, just
right.
It was the marketing side of it would have been a lot.
We used to talk about that a lot, like their marketing. They were really marketing anglers, making stars, and FLW is doing the same. But FLW was about there for a while with the Erwin Jacobs world, and you were a big part of that. It was the Walmart deals, and you were grateful for them. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were life-changing deals, but they were more about those sponsors than they were the individual anglers at times. I feel like.
When I did qualify for the elites, it was the hardest, when I went in 17 when I qualified for the 18 season. That was the hardest, I think the hardest decision I ever made in my life. Mm-hmm. I mean, I called you and talked about it. I'm like, man, I don't know what there you was traveling with me. And, dude, I missed
oh, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
I still miss it. Yeah, I miss it.
There's been some people that's come along in my life that have meant a lot to me. Shad Skank, you, Brad, Brad Knight. I mean, just people that, Scott Suggs. I mean, I could go on and on. Just people that you did not want to. It's almost like leaving family.
No doubt about it.
Where you don't have no family there. You know what I mean? It was a very difficult decision, but I'm glad I done it because
you won.
I can say I won. I won an elite. So,
that's right.
I got a blue trophy. On my first go around. So
was that decision for you when the split happened? Again, when you left FLW, you were leaving this long career. That happened in 19. You fished that year. You won that year, but the split happens. Was that decision equally as hard, though, even though you'd only been there a year, to go to this unknown thing? Like thinking back 3 years ago, was that?
It wasn't as hard, but it was hard, dude, because, I really won't get into that part of it. But it was.
You're walking into the fog, though, basically, right? You don't know.
You're sitting in a meeting with all the other anglers, and you're like, "Oh, this is the hardest decision I ever made. It's going to be me. I had to do it 2 years in a row."
Exactly. You're like, "Get off my back, bro." Yeah.
Come on, man. I don't even want to hear it. Dude, I had to do it.
You're like, hard on you. Crap. I left one family, now I made a new family. I get it, man.
I feel like a Rolling Stone, boy.
Yeah.
Come on.
Exactly.
I feel like I got stepchildren over here I didn't even know about. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Oh, yeah, by the way, here's your son you didn't know you had from 25 years.
Exactly.
Hey,
yeah.
Whoa.
Hey. Yeah, from church camp.
Come on.
Yeah, church camp. Church camp girlfriend.
The old church camp girlfriend.
But dude,
I miss my old girlfriend.
Well, she misses you. She's better being here cooking me supper. She better find a new house. All I can tell you.
She ever tell you about the night in the barn?
No, she didn't. She didn't. Thank God. Wesley Strader, the first time he ever meets my wife, says, "You look just like a church camp girlfriend I used to have." I'm like, "Hey, best friend, thanks for saying that. That wasn't weird."
It wasn't weird at all.
Oh my goodness! I think I know you. Did you go to church camp in Knoxville in 1982?
It was Coker Creek. Coker Creek.
I think you're both lying. I think
Marissa's lying, but I'm
exactly.
Not.
Yeah, I think she is too. I'm gonna find them pictures.
I think Marissa just don't want to tell you about it.
I think she better not, because my little ego can't handle it. That's what I think. Well, so that was a big decision, obviously. But then you go in, and you had already been fishing MLF, so you knew the format, right? So that wasn't an unknown for you. But that kind of leads me to my next question, and I think I've asked maybe Justin Lucas this on here. But whenever they bought FLW, you're an FLW guy. When they gave you an opportunity to go fish FLW, I mean, you had to jump on it, right? Because I feel like you're like, I know how that works.
It felt like my you know how they say history repeats itself.
Yeah.
It felt like I came full circle, and I'm right back to where I started. And dude, I love it. I mean,
getting to see the same people you used to see.
I get to see Bill Taylor again. I get to see.
Hey, Wesley, don't be carrying on with Luke Duncan.
Yeah, I get to see Kathy and all. You know, I get to see my. You know, I mean, I don't know if I ever told you this story or not, but I get to see Daniel Fennell, and I don't know if Daniel Fennell likes to see me as much as
he probably doesn't. I know why. Too.
Gotcha.
Old checks with Daniel Fennell. Do you think the pro circuit, this is a loaded question, so just get ready. The pro circuit competition is tougher now than ever before, right?
Dude, this is what I'm going to say. I don't care where you're at anymore.
Listen,
I don't care if it's pro circuit. I don't care if it's MPFL. I don't care if it's the elites. I don't care if it's the Bass Pro Tour. You better catch them. I don't care.
That's right. Toyotas, BFLs, whatever. Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't matter.
It's
you better
tough.
Catch them, because everybody's good now. Everybody has a niche. With the electronics we have now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you got a guy that will go out there, let's say it's the 5-fish limit. He puts his active target down, he goes out there and he just casts it every
for 5 bites. Yeah.
For 5 bites. Dude, it's just,
everything's changing.
The technology has changed everything. But I will say this, it all goes back to fundamentals. If you don't got the fundamentals, you still ain't going to get it.
That's exactly right. Is it difficult when you're on BPT and you go, like you guys have back-to-back weeks or a couple weeks apart from an FLW, is it hard for you, or does your strategy change between the formats going back and forth? Because that seems like it would confuse the crap out of me.
I will tell you this. The BPT has helped me on the tackle warehouse circuit, the pro circuit, and the tackle warehouse pro circuit has helped me on the BPT. Okay. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but dude, it's so relaxing to go fish a 5-fish tournament now, because let's say
crazy.
At 1 o'clock I got 1 fish, and I had the guys ask me, dude, you've got 1. Are you panicking? I'm like, no, I just got to catch 4 more. I said, I'm not getting
to catch 80.
I'm not getting throttled by somebody with 150 pounds right now. You know what I mean? I said, I just got to catch.
It's a relief.
I'm okay. It's kind of like, it's just so. I still competitive, but I don't panic.
And that's what you're used to, because you are a guy that if I ran into you at 1 o'clock a lot of times, you'd be like, yeah, I got 3. And you're like, okay, but you're like, yeah. And then you show up at the weigh-in with 17. I mean, Andy's that way. You just don't panic.
Yeah. And just like I said it on live the other day. I mean, the Wesley Strader of the 30-year-old Wesley Strader, like I said it on camera, I'm like, I've got this place where I'm catching them out of this hole. And I went through there the first thing in the morning. I caught 17 pounds in like 12 minutes, I think it was. and I came back later, and I got to catch them on a Zoom's Linky on a 1/4-ounce sinker, but I got to loosen a bunch. And I was fishing at Texas Rig. And I looked at the camera and said, I'm an idiot. I said, what's this? And I sat down, I pulled out a 2-aught Trocar Nico style hook weedless, and I put me a nail weight in the end of my Linky, and I never lost another one. The 30-year-old Wesley would have never done that.
Just kept losing them.
Would have just kept losing them, just kept throwing. So it's just, like I said, and the pro circuit has taught me that on the BPT. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just things that you would do just things that I've learned. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just hard to it's hard to explain. It's just and young kids are like, what's the most important thing? And I'm like, dude, the best thing that ever happened to me when I was a kid is my daddy bought me a 14-foot John boat with no motor, no trolling motor, no nothing. I had to paddle everywhere I went in the cove that we lived in, and I had to learn how to fish. Like, I fished that same stump in my cove 365 days a year, and I had to figure out how to catch fish out of it every time I fished it. So.
And you didn't have no chatterbait then, so I don't know how you ever caught one.
I don't know either. I did have a peaty, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't have no chatterbait. I don't know how you ever got a bite.
And that's one thing I think kids nowadays, you know, they want all these big now, in which, hey, there's nothing. Dude, I hope you get the best Ranger boat, but the basic thing is just learn how to catch one.
Learn how to fish.
Learn how to
love fishing, because that's something I'll say about you that I've had. I've been very fortunate to get to spend time in a boat with a lot of people, but I probably spend as much with you as any top professional in the world at this sport. And that's one thing that I will take to my grave about Wesley Strader is you freaking love it. You love it when you get up. You love it after the weigh, even on a bad day. Like you love bass fishing. You just love the outdoors, but you love what you do. And I think I think it's the same for Jacob Wheeler. I think it's the same for Kevin Van Ness, same for Ott Defoe. It's the same for Seth Fides. You know what I'm saying? These guys, like, that's the common denominators. You better love it. You better love it.
And you know, the old saying is if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
That's right.
Dude, I mean, most people, oh God, I dread getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Not me, dude. I'll bounce out of bed and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Let's get this done. Let's get started. You know, and it's like my 2 days off here. I went fishing every day.
You were fishing earlier today when I texted you.
Yeah. We went and had us a little derby between some buddies, and we just, you know, went and had a good time. Just went fishing.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I love, dude. And that's the other thing about fishing. I get to fish with so many different people. You know what I mean? Like it's a real joy to get to go see other people fish and how they would approach something or their passion for the sport. You know what I mean? Everybody has, most of the people that bass fish, they have a passion for it. So,
no doubt. And everybody approaches it different too. Marissa and I fished a little local tournament yesterday, and it was funny watching people's fishing styles on this lake up here at the house, and you watch how people cast or how they move down the bank or, the way they set the hook when you get close enough to see somebody set the hook, and it's like I'm 90 miles an hour on 70% throwing a horny toad down the bank, buzzing in and out of people and skipping up under crap, and then you get beat by the guy dragging a wire. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's approach is different, but that's what I enjoy is doing it my way. They enjoy it that, but at the same time, we still are after the same critter and doing it for the same reasons. It's such a crazy sport like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, how could an animal with a brain the size of a pea outsmart you? You know what I mean?
They do.
It's man like, so,
Brad Knight said to me on Friday, he called me, we were carrying on, and he said, Duncan, we're fishing against something that ain't even got no damn eyelids. They can't even blink. And he goes, they can't close their eyes. They can't even do that. And they outsmart us all the time. They can't even damn blink. And I was like, it's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
That's just the healthy ones. You know, they have those old one-eyed fish. You're like, hey.
Yeah. He said, and I don't know what them not being able to blink had to do with anything, but he was on a tirade about bass fishing, and he said, they can't even blink. Oh, no, we lost the W. We lost the W. Hang on. Let's call him back. The W cut out. Michigan cell phone service.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I got you back. But anyways, Brad Knight, he thinks that we should dominate bass way more than we do because they can't blink. So there you go.
Well, I'll tell you this. Since Active Target come out for me, it just shows me how really not good of a fisherman
I am. My gosh, does it ever, dude? Does it ever?
We was at a place today, dude, like some little lake up here. I can't remember the name of it. And, oh, my gosh, it has them in it so good. You can see them out there. You can see them swimming with your eyes. You can see them with Active Target. You're like, holy crap. I'm really not that good of a fisherman.
Well, that's what cracks me up about all the arguments about electronics. Oh, it's going to ruin the sport. It's going to do this. I'm like, listen.
Just like Alabama.
Same thing.
Just ruin the sport.
Yeah, that's right. And now they don't bite them half the time. But it's like, my thing is, them suckers still get the decision to bite or not, and they don't bite all the time. Like they have to bite for us to catch them. They don't react all the time, or they're not hungry, right? Like they don't eat 24 hours a day. So that's amazing because I found, like you, I was up on the Great Lakes not long ago, a couple weeks back, and I'd see them on my live scope, and dude, and where I was at, they don't get fished for a lot, okay? Like, I mean, they just don't.
Yeah.
And they just won't bite.
Pretty dumb.
Yeah, and they won't bite sometimes. I mean, they just don't. Like, sometimes you see them, but I'd see them up shallow cruising around on some flats and stuff too, dude. And, I mean, most of them would bite, but every now and then an old big one comes swimming by you like a 5-pluser, and you're like, uh-huh, and you pitch out in front of them, and they're like, no, sir. Been there, done that. We're not doing that today.
Here's the question on that one. Was it dark black or was it brown?
Black.
The black ones, I never get them to bite. The brown ones,
they were jet black.
You can't get them to bite. That's weird.
Jet black, yep. Spookier and crap, and the brown ones you could catch. Why is that? That's a Wesley Straderism right there. That's something I'm glad you said that. Wesley breaks stuff down. You do, but that's that years of experience. But why? What is that? What is that?
Don't know. I've asked everybody that lives up here that smallmouth fish, and they don't know why. I don't know if that's a fish that's been up there a long time, and he's like kind of like a largemouth. You know, he got a largemouth lives under a grass. He's real black.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I mean, every once in a while you'll get one of them to bite, but 9 times out of 10, that real dark one, he's like, nah.
That's so crazy. They were the ones that were hardest to catch up shallow. That most of them would not bite.
I fished it was a Toyota series. It used to be Everstart, but it's Toyota series now on Lake Erie, the eastern basin out of Buffalo, and I fished in the river. And it was the same way, dude. Like you'd be winding a big old spinnerbait, chartreuse blade spinnerbait. You'd look back and there'd be 15 behind, and you're like, oh God, here they come! And they'd follow all the way to the boat, and they'd be like 6 brown ones and 4 black ones. They would just be laying there, and you'd pitch out in front of one of the brown ones, and they'd eat it every time. The black ones were like, never bite it. And they would always be the bigger one.
That's so crazy, man. I don't. That's.
Guess what? And they couldn't blink at me either.
I couldn't even close their eyes and pretend you weren't there.
They couldn't even close their eyes and pretend they wasn't there.
What are we doing to these poor fish? They can't even blink.
I know.
How's he supposed to protect his eyes from the sun, Wesley?
Exactly. They don't have no coasters to put on, do they?
They don't have no coasters. Hey, hashtag see what's out there. They have to all the time. They don't have any choice. 24/7, see what's out there.
Oh, they're safe on the Tennessee River. We get plenty of rain. They're good.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, Bubba, I appreciate you very much coming on. I hope you win that stinking thing. That way you ain't got to go to that knockout round.
Yeah, those knockout rounds is, but it's a kind of a catch-22. You'll do the stats on the guys that win around and get the automatic bid. It doesn't usually work out very well for those guys. So
do I just have to do the stats on Jacob Wheeler to see who wins? Because that makes it easier on me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he doesn't win a lot of the knockout rounds, but he always ends up in the final.
He always steps on the gas. You text me.
You're fishing for second.
Yeah, you and I at Champlain, I was like, heck yeah, dude, you made a top 10 there. I'm like, great job. Which you've made, I don't know how many top 10s at Champlain at this point, I feel like. But I was like, heck yeah, dude. And you're like, yeah, all I got to do is beat Wheeler. No big deal. This was the day before. And then I look at Score Tracker and I'm like, here we go again.
Listen, that tournament, like in the knockout round, he didn't catch him that good the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I know.
And then the knockout round, he just magically catches like 100. And I just looked at everybody and said, we're fishing for second, right? He's got it figured out. We're done. Does
everybody else that you talk to out of the 80-man field, do they just feel the same way too, though? Or are they just like, yeah, we know?
Yeah. Everybody, they see it coming. It's kind of like, it's Dale Earnhardt. You're not beating him. He's either going to run you into the wall or he's winning.
I looked at the points earlier today. Is Ott going to win Angler of the Year, though?
You know,
I don't understand how the points work. I don't think, because that doesn't make sense to me. Okay. But I don't know.
Odds made almost ever like top 10. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
But odds also won 2 events this year.
That's right.
There's only been 3 guys win all the events: Van Dam, Wheeler, and Odd. That's it. It's
pretty good company. You need to win so you can get your name on that list.
It should be the Odd Defoe Wheeler Trail.
Yeah, I've texted both of them this year and said, I don't know if they're going to ban you guys, but they should. I wouldn't come back. I'd just be pissed off all the time.
Listen, I'm still trying to find the crossroads where Wheeler has that box buried with a boat.
No, you said he got a horseshoe surgically inserted.
But he does have he's got a cross. He's buried something in the crossroads. I can't find it either. I'm going to find it one of these days. I'm going to dig it up, and I'm going to just like throw it in a mulcher or something.
Whatever he did to sell his soul, I wonder if Wheeler you could just be like, walk into a guitar store and he'd be like, "Hey Wesley, check that out," and he just picks up a Fender Stratocaster and just starts playing, ripping craziest guitars. So you're like, what is this guy's deal?
You know what I call him? It's Tommy Wheeler.
Tommy Wheeler.
You know who Tommy is, don't you?
Who's Tommy?
Tommy's off old Brother White.
Oh,
Tommy.
He's Tommy. The Dean King is Tommy. He's been to the crossroads multiple times, apparently.
Now, listen, Wheeler, if you ever listen to this, I'm just joking. It's all in fun.
Oh, yeah. He knows it. Listen, Jacob, I consider Jacob a buddy, and I give him a hard time. He knows it's all in fun. I call him the Dean King.
The Dean King.
The Dean King. And by gosh, when you're king, you can do whatever you want to do and say what you want to do. You know, that's kind of how this works.
I wish they'd start swapping that banana doll around again. It was always where it worked out better in our favor when they kept hauling that damn banana around. But God, they got rid of it. And now here we are.
God dang, they got rid of the banana, and now he's 1-3. I don't know, man. Tommy. He's Tommy.
His name's Jacob Tommy Wheeler. That's what his name is.
He's going to be Tommy from now on.
Yes, Tommy,
go for Everett.
Tommy. Oh, no. He's a handsome man. That's what he is.
You wait. That's my favorite movie of all time. I can't believe I missed that reference. I'm disappointed in myself.
I can't believe you didn't know who Tommy was.
I was like, Tommy.
You talked about it, and I'm like, that's Tommy.
I thought you were going Biffle for a second because maybe you wore shorter shorts than I realized, but that's Patrick Walters.
No, that's Patrick
Walters. Yeah, he's Biffle Jr. Little Biff.
That's Sandbar Kid. That's who that is.
Oh, no mercy. Oh, I miss rooming with Wesley Strader, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it right here.
Hey, we had, listen.
There was never a lack of fun.
We always had a good time.
We always laughed. There ain't no doubt about that.
We was never down in the dumps about nothing.
And you know what? And think about, hey, I got a bone to pick with you before I let you go. Think about what you just said. We always have fun. We always laugh. We always cut up. And then you left for the FLW, for the Elite Series, and left me with damn Suggs. You left me with Suggs and Gagliardi, who, between the two of them, have smiled 6 times in their entire damn lives. That's who I got left with. And then I had the worst year I'd ever had, and I said, this is Wesley's fault. I'm blaming Wesley.
Okay, Suggs don't smile because he's always got a piece of fishing line hanging out of his mouth. That's why he don't smile.
I tried to tell W. I tried to tell him. Go fish, don't fish for largemouth everywhere you go, but he don't listen. He don't listen. I got the little dog on my wrap truck. This lady and this little dog. I used to kill him about that dog. He had that lady and that little dog on his wrap truck riding everywhere with him. That little Shih Tzu. Little Shih Tzu riding right there. And he said, son, it's a good sponsor. I'll put whatever on there I want to. I said, look at the little dogs, Suggs. I'm going to interview Suggs next week, and all I'm going to ask him about is that lady and that little dog.
I can't remember, but she's the owner.
Yeah, listen, when I travel Arkansas, which I do a lot for TH and stuff, and going out to Express Boats, she's on every billboard with that same little dog. She's all over Arkansas. She's everywhere. Her and the dog. I don't even know the dog's name. I bet Suggs does. I guarantee he knows the dog's name. Rusty or something, I'm guessing.
I think that he buys that dog treats.
No. You remember on Something About Mary when that guy gives the dog a tranquilizer so it'll like him? I wonder if Suggs does that when he goes to meeting so it don't bite him. He's like, look how much Rusty likes me, and it's just like upside down and drooling. He's petting it. This dog loves me, lady. You ought to give me a truck. Bada bing, bada boom, right there. Suggs is going to listen to this and be pissed.
Nah, he won't be
Suggs,
mad.
No, he won't be mad. Suggs is the best. Suggs caught him up there, didn't he? Didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I was going to say,
I think he's in like 8 or something like that.
Is he in your group? I couldn't remember.
He is.
Okay,
he is,
so he's going to fish with you.
Yep.
Okay.
He'll be out there tomorrow. He
always catches them up there, I feel like, too.
Yeah, he'll have his 4 foot of fish line hanging out of his mouth, and he'll look over. My favorite Suggs thing that I missed until we got part of the band together. You would pull up on him, and he'd be fishing on his pedestal seat, leaned up against it, winding something as slow as he could wind it. And he'd turn and look at you, and he had that piece of fishing line in his mouth, and he'd look at you. He wouldn't even smile. He'd just nod his head up like, the hell? What the heck are you doing here? And you would think that, oh my God, he's mad at me, and he's
every time.
I shouldn't have pulled up on him. I'm like, hey, are you going to smile today, or are you just going to? And then he agreed, and I'm like, that's better.
Oh yeah. FLW cameramen used to talk about him like that. They're like, man, he's grumpy sometimes. Like, grumpy sometimes. Oh my gosh. He and I've got to get Suggs on here because he makes me laugh. He's one of the funniest people I think I've ever met. Dude. He makes me laugh. Golly.
He himself, he may look like he's grumpy.
No, he's not grumpy at all.
He has got the most infectious laugh.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Any person it sounds like he smoked 72,000 packs of cigarettes when he starts laughing. He gets to wheezing, and it's like, I'm just laughing at him wheezing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
so easy. Unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
God, I miss it. So much fun, man. Well, dude, go in. I mean, if you don't want to win the knockout or your round tomorrow, don't do it. I mean, I ain't trying to put no pressure on you. I think it'd be cool to get an automatic invite to the top 10 and get a day off. And I know you won't take a day off. You'll go fishing. But
listen, if they bite, I'm going to catch them.
You're going to snatch their faces in, ain't you?
I'm going to snatch them. But if I don't, I mean, dude, the first day was fun. I ain't going to lie. I would love to win, but I'm just going to take whatever comes my way. I automatically made the knockout round anyway. Unless something miraculous happens.
You're good there.
So, but you know what? It's been good talking to you.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Been on the show, and we have got to get together.
Yeah, we got to shoot something this fall.
We have got to get my church camp girlfriend and my wife together so they can talk.
Talk, and we can go shoot something hopefully this fall.
Absolutely.
All right, buddy. Well, it was good catching up on some LBL, buddy. I appreciate you taking time out of your off day, even though you fished, and it wasn't really an off day. And go bust them up there.
Hey, I appreciate it, and I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people I can't say to you. I love you like a brother.
Hey, I do love you like a brother. Love you too, bro, and hope you smash on them.
All right, thank you,
CW.
man. Appreciate it.
Wesley Strader right there on the hook, son. Got him on the hook. Like a 4-aught trocar right there. The W. It's a good one. Old friends shine like diamonds. That's what Guy Clark said. And he meant it. He meant it because that's a very true statement. It was a lot of fun. Hope y'all enjoyed that. We're all over the place, but that's pretty much what hanging with Wesley and I has always been like right there. So I'm grateful to have him on. I'm grateful for each and every one of y'all that tune in every week, that watch, that support Low Budget Live. It's awesome. It's awesome. And I want to make sure y'all always know how much I appreciate it. Try to support these sponsors that support this show. It means a lot to me that they believe in me enough to partner with me. So be sure to check them out. If you get an opportunity, go drive an express boat, buy you some StarTron, check out Pro Guy batteries. If you're in a shirt store. Is that even a real thing? If you're in a clothing store and they sell Sims, get you a hat, get you a shirt, get you a rain suit. help out the cause. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see y'all again next week. Going to take you out with some Biloxi Blues. Be sure to hug your mama. Always remember that. Y'all stay safe out there. See y'all next time.
I never could make it last. Spanish moss, a Civil War ghost. Well, I'm gonna leave them in the past. Any direction, Lord, I'll be fine. It don't matter east or west. North, south, wherever the wind blows, I'm leaving those burdens at rest. This highway, it does not know my name, and I don't care. No, I don't care. Headed my way for another place, and I got 3 good tires and a spare. Just a white line gypsy getting out of Mississippi with just enough gas to get there.